So these are my fuse box brackets, and so far one PCM bracket. The PCM bracket is mainly just for mock-up to make sure my headlight didn't interfere. This top one I made is basically just a scrap bracket for a side step on a truck, and then of course round tubing welded to a piece of 3/8 threaded rod. Comes through, kind of see the nut down here, and that kind of keeps the fuse box pulled into the car. The lower portion, I took some sheet metal and cut it out, used the car as a template and cut it out so the bottom would receive just like the factory car, just like the car did factory. And then I brought it over to the K-member, to the cradle, and one bolt's there, the bolt's there in the back, and I run a vertical bar just to kind of, I don't know, give it some rigid force. Everything felt almost sloppy, so anyway, it comes up and bolts here. So I get a better view of it. But this is what the brackets look like straight on. The PCM bracket, like I say, just that one for mock-up to make sure the headlight still clears. And all the plugs reach. Of course, they don't tell you, because my kit come with absolutely no instructions, so you have to kind of manipulate a harness, and it feels kind of aggressive most of the time. This is the intercooler brackets. Now these did come in the kit, and it took me a long time, but I finally figured out how they work. Basically, they bolt into the intercooler on the side there. You can see the shiny bolts. And they come up to, I guess this is the crash bar bolts. The factory setup had a rod that went to the top of, I guess it'd be like a headlight bezel, and it kind of bolted into the bottom side here. The bars ran from down here to up here, so you put them in the same way. I kind of flipped the bolts around, because normally they come in from the front and then a nut goes on the back side and pulls the bracket tight. So I flip the bolt around and it comes in the inside. And the bumper goes on the nuts instead. The AC line was not in the kit. I was aware of that at the time I started it. I still don't have it. I'm gonna make my own. Or try to, at least.